Let me guess, geezer, you have the daily habits of a little weakling. You're disgusted how every night you tell yourself you're going to be a better man, but the next morning you're already spaffing on the sheets, checking Instagram reels, really just not waking up with any direction. I was also a weasel once, alright, and I still go through my phases, and there's 3 habits that I used to always do, not even including wanking, that absolutely derailed my life, and if you're like me, you haven't even noticed that you do them, and they're the most insidious habits to have. First of all, I want to make it clear that the habits I'm going to bring up are not the ones that are going to get me views, right? Because I'm not discussing girls or cocks, and I know you love hearing about cocks, but these are the things you need to hear to get you one step closer to the life you actually desire. I know that because when I was 18 and obsessed with NoFap, I just wanted to consume content about tips to not wank, but that was incredibly unwise because deep down, my biggest bad habits were just a symptom of the smaller habits that were making me weak. 1. Chatting shit about yourself. I have a genuine question, mate. Do you sort of hate yourself? Because I did. In 2021, I lived in a constant state of misery, it felt like. I'd look around at my friends who were making jokes and I just felt completely inferior to them. I'd look in the mirror and despise all the little details about my body and face, like that little spot under my eye. All this shit. I'd chat shit about myself to myself on a daily basis. For example, I used to keep a diary. Yeah, lap it up, alright? I don't give a fuck. I enjoyed it, alright? I like diaries. Right? And after having a wank or making a mistake with a girl, I'd write things down like, I guess I'm just destined to be a vessel that isn't sexual. I just wasn't born to have a girlfriend. I can't stand myself at the moment. I'm just not worth people's time. And do you know what that did to me? All that self-loathing. It compounded like a snowball down a hill. I told myself I was unworthy, then I'd feel unworthy, and then I'd continue to view the world from the perspective of me being unworthy, which led to more behaviours that made me feel unworthy. You know what? I've got no doubt in my mind that when you choke the chicken, you absolutely rip into yourself afterwards, or you say under your breath, oh, why did you do that again, you idiot? The point I'm making is it's been psychologically proven that the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves begin to shape our behaviours, and the more we feed into negative stories about ourselves, the more our feelings and actions align with those stories. It's weird. I told myself I wasn't born to be sexual. What the fuck is that about? Do you think I would try and text or approach girls with that thought in my head? Of course not. The fix I found was to become conscious of every time my mind came up with something negative to say about myself. What I do now is if my brain randomly says, Kian, no girl's gonna want to shag that tiny cock, I say to myself, first of all, it's bloody massive, mate, alright? And 2, does it serve me to believe this? You get rid of a lot of bollocks in your head by just questioning whether it serves you to think what you're thinking. This is one of the most important habits I destroyed because suddenly everything felt more positive. My brain was more open to actually pursuing goals and meeting women because I stopped beating myself down. 2. Avoiding the important work. This section has nothing to do with literal work tasks, by the way. Recently, I felt like there was something holding back this YouTube channel, but I just couldn't put my finger on what it was. I've posted so many videos every month and leveled up my video skills to a certain level, yet the views still aren't climbing. But it took me 3 months to actually sit down with myself and ask myself what I think the biggest thing is holding back the channel. And guess what? I came to a conclusion. It's the fact I held an internal belief that discussing bigger topics was morally wrong. It took me 3 months to realise one small change that might explode the channel. Imagine if I didn't put it off for 3 months, how much bigger the channel might be. For you, this probably becomes relevant with your mental health, for example, or your bad habits. How often do you sit down and brutally question yourself about what your constraints are? If it's once every 6 months, or even worse, never, that's probably why you're not closer to the life you want, the girl you want. Avoiding confronting myself was a disgusting habit that probably stole years of progress. Finally, 3. You're level 0 and expecting too much of yourself. My absolute worst habit when I was 19 was jumping into things at a level of volume that was too extreme for my TikTok undisciplined brain. For example, I started up an Instagram business where I sold a service to people online, and I was a level 0 weasel at this point. I knew nothing about discipline. I didn't even meditate, and I couldn't focus for more than 5 minutes without picking up my phone. Yet my ego would say shit like, right, tomorrow we're gonna wake up and do 2 to 3 hours of focused work on this business. Alright, nice one, buddy, but that's not gonna happen, is it? The negative of expecting way too much of yourself is that it actually freezes any potential action you could have done. When you're still at level 0 or 1 of discipline and focus, and you tell yourself to work a minimum of 3 hours, what actually happens is your brain finds it too overwhelming, and you end up doing none. I really had to drop my ego and realise that if I keep expecting too much of myself in beginning stages, things I actually can't do right now, then then I'm never going to get past level 0. It's like starting up Minecraft and you immediately spawn next to the Ender Dragon with no gear. I couldn't do that. I had to let go all of my ego and realise that, look, at 21 years of age, for now, 10 minutes of focused work a day was all I was capable of. If I stick to that every single day, which is actually pretty easy, eventually I will level up my skill with focus and I'll be able to do more. And now I work the entire day because of my shift in mindset. Maybe there's something in your life that you're genuinely passionate about pursuing, but you just can't get yourself to do the work each day. The way I fixed this was to allow myself to just do 5 minutes minimum. If you tell yourself, I only need to work 5 minutes today, that will easily turn into a daily habit that grows from there. If you got through this entire video despite not hearing about cocks or girls, then I'm actually proud of you, mate. You're the type of bloke I want on this channel. Stop chatting shit about yourself, stop avoiding the important internal work, and stop expecting so much work output when you're literally just starting off. You start small and level up. I hope you found this valuable, guys, alright? If you did, then click the subscribe button because I want you in our clan. You're one step closer.